Yeah, I think it's interesting. Joseph Smith has always been one when he finds a phrase, a turn of phrase that he feels is biblical, will glop onto it, and sometimes beat it to death. So, for example, the it came to pass, it came to pass. Right, the Book of Mormon is a third the size of the Old Testament, yet it has 3 times as many phrases of it came to pass as the Old Testament. But one of the other phrases we talked about, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That shows up 7 times in the Book of Mormon. It shows up exactly once in the New Testament. But before the foundations of the world, there has got to be in the Book of Mormon, I'm going to say at least 20 passages that pull on God as setting things up before the foundations of the world. And so when we talk about the problem of evil, it sure does seem that the Book of Mormon holds that the God to whom we're dealing with, this Mormon deity, has a control of foreknowledgeable control of how to set up the dominoes so that they would fall in the right way. And so I don't know how this gets the Mormon out of the problem of evil in that respect.
Well, it like we said in the previous video, Joseph Smith seems to have been operating with a more orthodox understanding of God early in his career. The Book of Mormon reflects that. I, of course, take it to be a 19th century work, not an ancient work that he translated.
Well, there's other evidences for that, but
right, of course. But what you've got is the fact that Smith's views do evolve over time.
Yeah.
Right. Within about a 14-year period, he goes from being able to talk in ways that look very traditional Protestant to having a very different story, a very different understanding of the cosmos and the being of God and of humanity. And so I think that initial decision for the Latter-day Saint of, do you prioritize the Book of Mormon over the later stuff or the later stuff over the Book of Mormon, is going to be playing a massive role in how you ultimately end up understanding God, the universe, humanity, and the problem of evil within it. If you take a more Book of Mormon centric view, you're going to have a problem much more like the Orthodox Christian does. If you prioritize the King Follett Discourse and Doctrine and Covenants, 88 and 131, 132, and so on, you're going to have a view that doesn't have that problem of evil, but it's going to have different problems of evil.
Right.
And the one that I highlight in the article that got mentioned, Exaltation and Gods Who Can Fall, Some Problems for Mormon Theodicies, that appeared in Element, which is the journal of the Society for Mormon Philosophy and Theology, which I'm not sure that it's actually an active society anymore, but I presented that paper at their meeting on the BYU campus, and had about 80 people in the room. I think maybe 3 or 4 of us were non-LDS. And it was very interesting. What I point out in there, I said, well, there is a tradition within popular LDS discourse going back to Joseph Smith and Brigham Young that says that God could fall from his position of being God.
Yeah.
And that he could come tumbling down along with the worlds he has made. Moreover, that seems to be required by Mormonism's basic metaphysical commitments. If agency, free agency, is the most fundamental characteristic of an intelligence, then even a well-formed moral character does not guarantee that you couldn't do wrong, that you couldn't make a bad decision. And because there's no necessary goodness here.